Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly back bringing some more daily NBA news and highlights. As always, you guys are the real MVPs for coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. And hey, if you're new here, then yes, you are also greatly appreciated. But make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell as well, so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. But now let's just take a look at what is going on in the NBA. As if this whole Dwane Casey incident couldn't have gotten any more awkward. The man was just voted by his peers, the other NBA coaches, to be the NBA Coaches Coach of the Year, and it's rumored that he's also going to win the actual Coach of the Year award too, even though Brad Stevens didn't get a single vote. And all of this came right after he was swept by LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round, literally the day after he was given that sympathy award by the coaches. And now, to make things even worse, right after other coaches acknowledge him as the best coach in the NBA, he gets fired. Yep, Dwane Casey has been relieved of his coaching duties by the Toronto Raptors. This guy has to hate LeBron's guts. This has to be the worst week of his life, and it's all because of LeBron James. He gets swept by LeBron James, then gets fired because he got swept by LeBron James. And this was even after he led the Toronto Raptors to their best season that they have ever had in franchise history. A franchise high 59 wins for the Toronto Raptors wasn't enough for Dwane Casey to keep his job. And I have extremely mixed feelings about this, like the rest of the NBA community does. I kind of feel like Dwane Casey might have been the scapegoat a little here for the Raptors losing the playoffs to LeBron James once again. I don't think it's Dwane Casey's fault that DeMar DeRozan played like he did against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was a complete no-show. And I actually like the move by Dwane Casey in game 3 when he benched DeMar DeRozan the entire fourth quarter. It almost allowed the Raptors to get back into the game and win the game had it not been for LeBron James. However, despite being fired, I'm sure Dwane Casey will land on his feet. He's going to get another coaching job somewhere else. Overall, I just think the Raptors needed someone else to blame for them getting swept out of the playoffs once again. Because the reality of the situation was this: it was either hopefully get a new coach that can get them over the hump against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the rest of the Eastern Conference, or blow the team up, trade DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. The Toronto Raptors were like, you know what, let's see if it was the coach. We're gonna get rid of the coach first, see if another coach can do something with DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry that Dwane Casey wasn't able to do. And that right there will be another problem for the Raptors, getting past everyone else in the Eastern Conference despite who they hire as a head coach. I really feel like if this group that the Toronto Raptors has right now was ever going to make it to the NBA Finals, this had to be the year that they were going to do that, because the rest of the Eastern Conference is only going to get even better next season. The Boston Celtics are about to be an absolute juggernaut once they get Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward back. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to be even better, assuming Markelle Fultz comes back healthy next year, along with the progression of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Even a team like the Indiana Pacers will be tough for Toronto next year with the additional growth of Victor Oladipo, and if they're able to upgrade their talent a little bit more all around. I seriously think the Toronto Raptors might have missed their window of opportunity to escape the Eastern Conference. And that's pretty much no matter who they hire as the head coach. So the Philadelphia 76ers held their exit interviews yesterday, and Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Markelle Fultz all gave us a heck of a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, Ben Simmons, you had to see this coming, as he said that he will be adding a jump shot. He will be able to take jumpers in game next season. He knows that's something he needs to be able to do.
See you in practice and shoot around, shoot jumpers a lot, and in games it just seems like outside of, you know, a certain distance, you haven't really pulled the trigger on those shots. Is that something you're going to try and get more comfortable with this summer?
I think just overall, yeah. Offensively, just taking the right shots and getting comfortable taking certain shots.
Like I said, you knew this was going to happen. There was no way that Ben Simmons wouldn't be working extremely hard this summer to add that element to his game. And I also don't know how people were saying that he will never learn to shoot. That's just ridiculous. Aaron Baines learned to shoot threes. If you think Aaron Baines can learn to shoot threes but Ben Simmons can't, I don't know what to say to you. It's not like we're expecting Ben Simmons to become Steph Curry from beyond the arc. No, he just has to have a respectable jumper, so when defense do back off of of him like the Boston Celtics were in their last series, he'll be able to take that shot and force them to have to play up on him a little bit more. Next up though was Markelle Fultz, and this was the one I was really looking forward to, because if you were to ask me the difference for the Philadelphia 76ers, one of the determining factors in how great they can be is how great of a player Markelle Fultz can be, because he's the guy that has the tools to add something to their game that they desperately need. A playmaker, but can also make plays for himself, who is a scorer that can score from anywhere on the court but also set other guys up. They don't have that right now, and if Markelle Fultz can become that guy like he was supposed to be out of college, that will be huge for the Philadelphia 76ers. But as we know, Markelle Fultz didn't have the best regular season, and he didn't even get to play in the NBA playoffs, barely, not at all in the series against the Boston Celtics. But I wasn't tripping too much about that. You kind of had to see this coming, considering he had only started playing again a few games before the regular season ended, so it would be kind of a stretch to imagine him getting significant minutes, if any minutes at all, in the playoffs. But it appears the reason that Markelle Fultz didn't get minutes in the playoffs is not only because he didn't have enough experience before the playoffs, but also because his shoulder still isn't at 100%.
Markelle, in terms of strengthening your shoulder and developing range on your jump shot, where is that at right now?
It's pretty good, really. I mean, I'm not all the way there, but I definitely have a lot more work to do. Even if I was 100%, I would still want to get better. The grind starts now. Anyways,
that's not all Markelle Fultz said yesterday. He also said that getting the Ben Simmons / Joel Embiid treatment has been great for him. Basically, sitting out his rookie year, being able to practice with the team, see how the NBA is run from the inside, watching and studying the game courtside has helped him out immensely, maybe even more than actually being able to go out there and play in the actual games.
Markelle, it's no secret that Ben and Joel look like they really benefited from taking mental reps and having a year to be in the NBA. Obviously, you were able to get onto the court, but how much were you able to just kind of learn by being on an NBA team and being on the bench every day and watching those guys play?
A lot. I mean, even being in practice with these guys, just being able to practice with them, learn stuff, and then when I go out to the games, the time I was sitting out, I was able to see stuff from a different perspective, see the guys that were open when we ran plays, see the defensive spots that you needed to be in. So it helped me a lot, more than I think somehow if I was on the court. So I'm very happy with what I learned over this period of time.
Man, if this guy comes out balling out next year, kind of like Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons did in their first years playing, then we might start seeing other teams taking this approach too, where they sit out their rookies their entire first season, just let them watch and study the game up close, and then come out and be absolute monsters in their second years in the NBA. Anyways, though, that leads us to the last guy that we gotta talk about with this Philadelphia 76ers thing, and that is, of course, Joel Embiid. And he said his main goal this summer is to work on his body, because this will be the first time in his career so far that he's ever actually been able to train during the offseason, because he's not having to do rehab. He has a goal to have an MVP caliber season next year.
This season, this is my first year going into a summer healthy, and I'm excited about it. I feel like next year he's definitely going to be a type of MVP season for me.
Just imagine Joel Embiid being the 2019 NBA MVP. I mean, just imagine his acceptance speech. It's hard enough to understand what he says during the post-game interviews. Imagine trying to have to decipher a 15 to 20 minute acceptance speech. Anyways, Joel Embiid has always been the type of guy to set extremely high standards for both himself and his teammates, so him saying that he wants to win MVP this upcoming season shouldn't be too shocking. Hold on, get this. Everybody pause what you're doing. We have some breaking news right here. Kawhi Leonard was spotted in LA at the Dodgers game. I mean, take a look at the video.
That's Kawhi Leonard, a basketball player. Really good one. I knew he was coming to the Lakers. Welcome home, Kawhi. Welcome home.
Which guy?
Welcome home.
The guy with the cap?
Yeah, the guy with the...
Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers confirmed. It's over. We don't need to know anything else. Kawhi Leonard, because he was at the Dodgers game in LA, is going to the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, seriously. So unfortunately, this is something that we have to cover. And I'm not even going to call this a story because it's not an actual story. This is just something that I have to address. Kawhi Leonard was born in LA and he went to a Dodgers game. Can we draw any type of conclusion based on those two things? Is there anything that links those two things together besides Kawhi Leonard to the Los Angeles Lakers? I don't know. Could it be because 95% of the people who are born in LA are Dodgers fans, and that this has nothing at all to do with him as a basketball player? As for him being in LA, every single NBA player is one of two places during their offseason, either New York or LA. That's the only places besides maybe some exotic island somewhere that these players go. You'd think guys are staying out in Oklahoma or Utah or Detroit. No, they're gonna be in New York or LA. But this is where people say, well, would you look at this? Kawhi Leonard can attend a Dodgers game, but he couldn't even make it down to San Antonio for one of his own playoff games. Now, if the San Antonio Spurs were still in the playoffs and Kawhi Leonard was spotted at a Dodgers game instead of a Spurs game, I'd be like, dang, this is actually messed up. This would be a huge breaking story. But it's been like, what, 2 or 3 weeks since the Spurs have been eliminated by the Golden State Warriors, right? 2 or 3 weeks ago. Who knows how much could have changed with Kawhi Leonard in 2 or 3 weeks? He was in New York at the time when the Spurs were taking on the Warriors. Maybe since then he's been cleared to go somewhere else and train in LA like he has done every summer of his career so far. Don't read into this at all, guys. This whole Kawhi Leonard situation is still nothing more than speculation and noise created by people who have no real idea of what is going on. But anyways, that wraps up everything that is going on in the NBA for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news and highlights. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow. But until then, keep getting the buckets, Team ICC, and I'm out of here. Peace!